Hi, I'm Kaylin, and I am joined, as almost always, by my buddy Oberon, who's so very wise. And today we're going to help you tap into the riches of life by answering a question and talking a little more about the riches of life. So, in today's video, I want to first read you a great question that I got on YouTube. This is from Cliff. He says, so what you are saying is that once the bad feelings are released, and he's referring to a video in which I'm talking about flowing, then and only then can you attract the life you want. Yes. What if you are trapped in a life-sucking situation such as I am, from being the sole caregiver of my 91-year-old mom with dementia, and the only way out is an abundance of money to come my way that I'm wholeheartedly attempting to attract, but isn't getting here. Money is desperately needed to hire a professional caregiver and to get my life back on track. What kind of higher power cannot discern that your constant misery would be greatly changed for the better self by understanding that the situation is constantly sad because it is not responding to need and want of abundance? I am greatly receptive to receiving an abundance of wealth. I envision and imagine how happy and free I'd feel again. So the number one thing that I want to address in this question is about what the riches of life really are about. Oberon wants me to first say that I responded right away and I said, yes, you need to flow those feelings. Basically, you know, my friend Cliff has to be feeling frustrated, angry, limited, tied up, you know. There's got to be a lot of feelings that accompany his situation, and while I can't say exactly what those are, these are the kinds of feelings that he is most likely feeling because it is a very difficult situation. I have a student who's going through something quite similar. Her aging father has dementia and it drives her crazy. So yes, you need to flow those feelings because being positive about them isn't really going to change your situation, and it certainly isn't going to change the way you feel. You could tell yourself it's going to change the way you feel, but it's not. So yes, you absolutely need to flow those, because if you rightfully so, not because you don't love your mother or father, but rightfully so, are angry and frustrated that you have to deal with this situation and you don't have the money for it, well, you are rightfully feeling that way. In other words, it's an appropriate feeling. When you have feelings, you can disregard them, but it doesn't do much for you. It does tend to put a monster in the closet that tends to grow and get bigger and become more difficult to deal with. Or you can flow the feeling. When you're with the feeling, it's with you, you're with it, you let it flow, and that changes things. Flowing the feeling is a very simple 3-step process. And then I'm going to get to what I really want to focus on. Number 1, welcome how you're feeling. Number 2, allow it to be here, experience it. And number 3, let it flow. Now, a situation like that will undoubtedly take a lot of flowing. But when you've got anger all the time, all around you in your thoughts, you're angry that you don't have the money, you're hurt that your parent is in this situation, you're sad for them, you're mad for yourself, you're frustrated. You know, all of those energies are around you and they are actively attracting things for you. The worst part is you're getting sucked into it in the sense that you feel like there's no way out and they just keep coming back, right? You know, now you're annoyed about this, now you're angry about that, and you become this situation. So one of the most important things that I talk about is that the law of self trumps the law of attraction. When we're looking at a situation like this where there's constant anger or frustration, you could see how very low vibrating energies of anger, frustration, madness, sadness, you know, they're active, and you could see how law of attraction is going to attract things from those active energies. But then there's you. See, you've got out here sort of the emotions going on, but then there's you. And you want to be really careful about who you know yourself to be, who you say you are. You want to be really careful about the story that you are telling yourself and the story that you're telling other people about who you are. Because if your story is that you are in this terrible situation, Now you are identified with your story, and the law of self honors who you say that you are. Now, if you say that you are in trouble, that you're in a negative situation, that kind of thing, that's what the universe then brings you, because this is what you have said that you are. One thing you have to realize if you're ready to sort of play at this level is that we are co-creators. We are not the recipients of reward, punishment, and simply what the law of attraction brings. In the sense that we are co-creators, which means that we are a part of what creates these things. There is no such thing as reward and punishment in life. There is simply what gets brought to you, and that's really based on your karma, which would be a whole different topic, and I'm going to try to stay focused. So, as a co-creator, one real difficult thing is that you have to take some responsibility for what it is that you're experiencing. No, I'm not saying that you consciously chose to have a parent with dementia kind of thing. I am not saying that. I already know that that's not what you chose. I am saying that at some higher level, some larger part of you did make that choice, not the personality. I understand it's not anything that you would want, but there's supposed to be some sort of richness that this situation is meant to give you. One of the only ways I've ever seen people find the gifts that life has for them and find the riches that are really being offered to them, riches that go well beyond money, fame, those kinds of things, real riches of life that make you a much larger and energetic and expanded person, at which point the law of self honors a larger person and brings you more of the other things that you want, wealth and wonderful experiences and all that. What makes you that bigger person is when you take those gifts from life. Sometimes life's gifts are bundled in a cute baby and a cute puppy that you just want to hug and love. Other times they come in really awful sucky packages and you want to pull your hair out and you hate it and you're like, what in the world? What kind of benevolent being would bring me this hell? And you have to step back if you're ready to play at this level and say, you know what? If there's no judgment, a gift is a gift is a gift. My personality, me as a human, I look at it and I go, this one's good, this one sucks. It's true. But a higher consciousness that you are as well looks and says a gift is a gift, and this has a gift in it, and this has a gift in it, so I'm going to bring these things into this life. That goes a little beyond the law of attraction, and it goes to the karmatic energies that help you attract those gifts, whether they seem positive or negative. So I hope that makes sense. These are things that I talk to with my students who I've been working with for years and who are very advanced. They can sense energy. They're very aware of their own energy, their own karmatic energy, their own life mission. They're very aware, and they can handle this kind of conversation. And I'm not saying necessarily that you can't. I'm saying that, whether or not you have the breadth to understand some of the depth of it might be a different topic. And, how you feel about what I'm saying, I usually introduce over time so that so that a person is set up and they have better understanding. Like the understanding is really already there and it makes a lot more sense. So one of the most important things to realize is you are not being punished. It's nothing negative. Another really important thing to realize is that you don't want to identify with your circumstances. Not when you're sitting on top of the world and everything's wonderful, and not when you're in a situation that you think is terrible, where you feel like you aren't happy, where you feel stuck, where you have a parent with dementia you have to take care of. In neither of these do you want to identify with it. One of the gifts that this experience is really bringing you, therefore, is the gift of an opportunity through an experience to identify who you are. So let's put that another way. If you were to even go old school, law of attraction, positive thoughts, that kind of thing, you would have to really have so many positive thoughts about the experience with your parents with dementia, or anyone else who's watching this video, whatever experience you're having that's difficult, challenging, terrible, sucky, whatever you want to call it. You have to look at the experience and find the positive, so to speak, in yourself. So in a deeper way, what I'm saying is you want to find the identification of who it is that you truly are, that isn't stuck, bound, punished, frustrated, angry, helpless. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy at all. But therein lies the gift. When you recognize that you are who you are, regardless of your circumstance, when you can say, I have abundance in my heart, therefore I am abundance, I have love, I have a zest for life, even though I'm in this circumstance where I don't seem to have money, I'm in this circumstance where I have to take care of someone else who has dementia and is driving me crazy, no doubt. I'm in this circumstance where things are very challenging, but I am zest, I am abundance. When you can separate who you are, so whether you think of it as having a positive thought, or whether you can go a little deeper and recognize that the universe honors who you are. And my buddy Oberon says, therefore, when you can identify who you are as a more cosmic and lighter being, enlightened if you want, but lighter being, not stuck, but free in my heart, and feel the free in my heart, and try to think the free in my heart, and try to see the free in my heart in your life. It's not easy. It's a positive game of manipulation, if you will, in the sense that you really want to stop seeing what the illusion is showing you and all the hell that you may be experiencing. You want to see through it. You want to really develop some divine wisdom in your vision and really see who it is that you really are. Maybe really see the parent that you love or loved, the parent that you want to see, the parent that, if you can find it in yourself, that you know you really have in you, but that you might not be able to see just on the surface. When you go deeper that way, that's when you're going to change everything, and that's when you're going to really seize your gifts and have a very different experience. If you can change how you see yourself and your life in this way, no doubt you can get a sense that you'll recognize that everything would change, and certainly maybe not directly your experience, but how you feel, and therefore your experience really starts to change too. Nothing is forever. Your experience will shift. The question is, can you seize the gift and live the real riches of life by getting in the flow of who it is that you really are? I'm recording this in December, so 'tis the season. I hope that you can really get this gift from your life.